What's up, nerds? My name is Jordan. This is Aligning in the Stars, and I am pleased to bring to you episode 2 of the Eaglemoss Hero Builders series of the USS Enterprise 1701D. Oh man, I'm excited to bring this one to you, our first live-action video. Here we go. Alright, here we go. Oh, can't wait to open this box. Last time there wasn't a whole lot of fanfare. I guess we're supposed to start getting some gifts this time around. I'm expecting the binder for the guides. So here we go. Oh, what do we got? Got the invoice. Oh, how interesting. Looks like part of... Oh, this looks like some saucer super section here. That's kind of cool. Superstructure. That's number 6. Some more parts of... Oh, interesting. It's the back. Looks like the main shuttle bay. Okay, cool. Oh, cool. So, got some lighting. Got the escape pods. Oh, not quite sure. But definitely some hull plating sections. This is super cool. The next magazine. Another magazine. Cool. And the next stage, the main stage. This is the deflector. Oh, sweet. Alright, and it is the binder. So, oh, how interesting. Okay. Sweet. Well, I am about to get to building some things here. I think I am going to be up for a little while. Can't wait to see you guys. Alright, y'all. Here we are. So at the beginning of stage 3. Got the parts all laid out in front of you here. I'm going to attempt to provide some interesting commentary, talking a little bit about the model and a little bit about Star Trek. But first, last night I went through and read through the entire next magazine for this build. And the really cool part about it is, in the stage that we're building right now, we are putting together the battery pack, which is right here, and we're going to be able to start testing the all the electronic components, and this is going to be one of the battery packs for the model as it's finished. But then as we build, this is what we're going to be testing with. So as you can see here in the magazine, we have the parts. I'll quickly run through. We have the deflector dish center, which is here. We have the reflector. We have the main dish inner part. We have these two are the supports. We have to build this. Okay. Then this is going to be the LED holder. Then we have the LED itself for the dish, the battery pack, the cover for the battery pack, the battery nut bracket for eventually when we attach it to the model itself. Looks like some nuts and screws. This is the circuit board itself. Doesn't really do it justice. That's what this is here. These are our screws. I do have a nice little thing that I'll show you later on where I'm keeping all my screws and all those things, trying to be as much of a nerd as possible and keep it all nice. So, as we get into stage 1, stage 3, we're going to start by opening the package. So I went ahead and already pulled the backing off. I learned in the unboxing video that if you don't have stuff prepared, it's really awkward and weird to do so in front of you guys. Okay. Very nice. Even this is metal. That's so crazy. Okay, I'm going to keep all the parts in place. Put this off to the side here. I have myself my screwdriver, which was provided in the kit. And then we have our screws, nuts, and what have you. I do have a little magnetic holder here, purchased from Harbor Freight. And I'm going to open up my screws and pour them out onto the tray. The cool thing is that the screwdriver is also magnetic, and so when you grab parts, you're able to really grab them real nice. So I'll be able to kind of pull them. This may not have been such a good idea, but we'll see. But as you can see, the screws are incredibly tiny. Maybe that's going to focus. I hope so. But they're incredibly tiny, but they ain't going nowhere. So it's pretty cool. But I'm going to keep them here. I want to keep everything as nice together as possible. They always provide extra screws, which is nice. But once again, you never know. So I'm going to set that off to the side, just in case the BP is a different type of screw set than what I already have. Okay, so step A is begin by inserting the battery box. So that would be this. Untangle that real fast. I'm going to leave that tape down at the bottom. And you'll have to excuse me while I go grab 3 AAA batteries. Okay, so I'm a professional. Didn't fully read the instructions on the last part, so yes, batteries just fell out because, like I said, I'm a professional. This nut needs to go into this piece right there, like that, before this piece goes on. Yes. Like, why is it not going in? What am I doing wrong? So, now that that has been solved, let us drop screws. Like I said, real professional here. Now, what's interesting is the only tool that you need, and I mentioned this in the last video, the only tool that you need for this whole project is the screwdriver. Obviously, with the like the escape pods, for instance, they needed a little bit of sanding work, because it's done kind of like as a model, for instance, where the tabs that connect to the plastic piece, the plastic tree, I know there's an actual phrase for it, but there we go, much better, there we go. Yeah, so where the tab for the actual tree connects, you kind of got to sand down the pieces, and we'll get there when it comes time for that part, coming up here soon. So now that I know how to do all this part, let us see if I am smart enough to actually follow proper instructions. And got to admit that this part, the magnetic screwdriver, is great, unless it goes right there, incredibly infuriating. And with that, the first stage is done. Fantastic news. Okay. Well, thank you for your patience on that one. Now I'm going to take the 2 parts of the deflector dish support. And what's interesting is they made this look just like, well, I don't know if it's exactly like, but the support, I'm assuming, just gets secured into place. But they kind of made it look like what is in the cross section of the Enterprise D itself, with the way the back of the deflector itself looks. And so it's kind of interesting how they've kind of incorporated a little bit of design. Now, I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. So now this part is complete. So there we are. Yeah, so if you kind of look at it from the cross section, you got the deflector dish. If the Enterprise was sitting like this, kind of looks like that. I don't know. We'll see. There we go. Next part's complete. So now I'm going to take the deflector dish inner, okay, which is going to be this big piece. Set the chip aside. Okay. And this feels like an ABS plastic, something like that, although it is clear and meant to be illuminated, which is pretty cool. Yep, so here's the connection points for the illumination. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to take the inner piece and set it on the inside. So that is this right here. Like, even the plastic pieces feel super high quality. And then you secure this to the back. Oh, and it kind of clicks. Like, it's in there. Oh, I see. Then this sits over the top. I was like, wait, does this go in before that? And it's no. So this goes in with 2 small screws. Just like that. Maybe. I may need to rethink this little tray thing here, but we're going to deal with this for this first couple of episodes. Oh. No, that is incorrect. Here. Okay, so just like that. Couple turns. You don't really want to over screw. It's plastic on metal. Strip it. I did that once on the previous build, and I don't think it's going to have any consequences, but yeah, the cool thing about this is if something is broken, you can just reorder the piece. You can reorder the stage, rebuild it. Okay. So that section's complete. Okay. So now I take these pieces here, assuming that this sits just like this. Like that. Like so. It's interesting. So now I'll take this and set this down. This work. These work. Oh, almost worked. May have just figured out a trick. I'm gonna drop the screw. That piece goes here. Wonder how many of these little screws I'm going to have left at the end of this process. Probably a whole lot. I do have quite an impressive screw collection from over the years. Yes. That kind of nerd. Alright. Yep, so that's now fixed into place. Just like that. Okay. So now we take the LED, and only just one this time. Okay. And what's interesting too is like you kind of got to separate out the ends here, and the LEDs themselves are super small. Each connector has a different letter attached to it, which is interesting. And this testing board is going to be a testing board that we use throughout the process. There's going to be many of these eventually as the process gets built. Okay, so now the red side goes to, excuse me, The red and black goes to the port side, and the green and yellow goes to the starboard side. So I'm going to pull these apart slightly, just slightly. And then, next coming up, we have the two reflector pieces. And what these do is they sit over the top of the LED and keep them from moving around. Okay, so now it looks like we're getting pretty close here. Got 2F, or 3F, 03F, 03F, so it doesn't matter which side that goes onto. And one thing that you want to be conscious of is paying attention specifically to the way that the wire itself is being routed. This really matters. Okay? So this side's going to go right here. I'm going to do one side at a time. And how this works is this little tab that sticks up sits over the top of this little tab right there. It's a really clever design. Grab a screw. Sometimes that process works, sometimes it doesn't. And when you're building this, there comes a point where when you're screwing plastic with these plastic screws, you will know when enough is enough. There comes a point where it just slightly creaks, and that's all you want to do. Okay, so I'm being careful here. Just make sure that everything is going the way it's supposed to go. And I'm going to separate things out all the way. So, LED goes in there. The little cover goes over the top. And a couple of the reviews that I read, because when it got canceled, people were kind of deep into it, so you were able to restart your subscription if you had already started. And a couple of people had mentioned that eventually you'll figure out as you go along kind of the process. You'll figure out kind of like the designs of these and how they build the caps and all of that. I've definitely seen that. Okay. So, of course, didn't tighten it down just enough. I'm going to put that back in there. Make sure it is nice and tight. Yeah, no, I definitely didn't tighten that down enough. I'm trying to be careful. Over tighten these screws. That one's definitely good. Okay, so that is the completed section, maybe? Did I miss a step? And for whatever reason, curious, I don't think that this goes on right now. Can't be true. Oh, interesting. Am I missing a step? Three C, 3B. Sorry, I apologize. There's 3A ever mentioned. What's interesting is I'm not seeing the steps. So kind of like with the Bussard collector in the last one, I wonder if I'm supposed to set this off to the side. No, because, I mean, very interesting. So I'm just going to put this on here while we're testing. Okay. So now I'm supposed to be able to test whether the lighting works or not. So the power goes into F. And then be very careful with these connectors. Make sure we're putting them in the correct way with the pins lining up correctly at the top. And then D, or the D, alright. Oop, see? Didn't quite, was not trying to put that in the correct way. Very nice. Yeah, definitely not done with this section, so I got to be setting this blue piece aside, but there are the LEDs lit up for the first section. Now, what's cool is it's asking me to test the lights on the bridge pod. I will test those here in just a little bit. Okay. So, my friends, as I straighten out and pull this LED out, like an idiot, because this one apparently is going to be a bit of a problem. There we have stage 3 complete. Thank you. So, as we have this lit up bridge stage, it's gorgeous, isn't it? Let's take a chat real quick. I'm learning a lot about, well, just about everything when it comes to YouTube. Being a content creator is not easy. Shout out to all of you who've been doing this for so long. Like, I've been enjoying many a content creator for a long time, and this is crazy, the amount of work that goes into it. And for those of you that are really good at it and have a lot of subscribers, kudos to you. It's amazing the work that you're able to do. And a big second lesson learned for this whole project is that it's expensive to be a creator as well, especially to get started. Creating YouTube videos has kind of required me to kind of rethink a lot of things. Needing a better computer. Last week I went out and bought a better computer, and I was able to put out the video that was released. I'm glad you guys all have enjoyed that so far. But as I went to go into building this video, the computer, I found out it was not good enough to handle video, and so I'm having to kind of reapproach. Thankfully, I have a Lenovo ThinkPad from work, and so it's a pretty high-powered computer, so I'm doing okay here. But definitely going to rethink that one here coming up soon. Data storage is a thing, and it's going to be a thing going forward. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to approach it. I was talking to Matt the other day, and he was telling me that he's got quite a few big, 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte backup storages just full of old videos from his Let's Play days. And so it's kind of crazy to think about how much storage you're going to need. Really learning how to transfer files, like quickly between my phone, where I'm doing most of the video work and camera work, of course, and how to get it to my computer, and the best ways of doing that without tapping out storage. And that's the thing that's kind of been the craziest part, is like getting into we're using desktop computers, well, laptops, but PCs really, and using proper management of files and where to load everything. And it's been great getting back into it. Haven't used PCs too much over the last little while, but it has been kind of a learning experience, so to say. One of the things that's kind of led me to think of, especially with my phone, I have a S21 Plus, Android S21 Plus, of course, and it's great, but I keep hearing a lot about how much better iPhones are. Gonna go out and take a look. I don't know. We'll see. I've had an Android since the very beginning. I haven't really thought about ever changing. I've never really used an iPhone or anything, but I have seen videos out there that are created, and the ability to edit videos and edit audio and all of that within the phone itself does sound super fascinating to me. So it's something I'm going to be looking at possibly as soon as Monday. So with all that said, for the next stage, I got a little impatient. When going into recording the video and building the first section, I did so in the morning and quickly realized I filled up my phone with, when you're shooting HD, and especially ultra high quality HD, I filled up my phone pretty quick, and so I had to quickly order some 1 terabyte flash drives. But I got impatient, couldn't wait, and I started building sections 4 and 6. Now, I kind of went into it going, okay, well, this is a little cheesy. I'm more impatient, just want to build this. I want to have fun. I've been waiting all month. It actually turned out it was a good thing. So stage 6 was a small step, and that's what we're going to see here next. And it's interesting how they built the packaging. I noticed that there were 3, well, I guess it was more 2 really heavy, complicated, detailed sections with lighting. One section that was more, as you see in the photo over here, below with the lit up section, stage 4 itself was stage 5 was to build the cowling around the outside of the bridge section. Stage 6 was the superstructure, and both of them were really kind of like small stages, and I bet you that there's going to be 2 main stages, and then you're going to have like a support piece, or kind of like the stage 5 was, stage 5, where it was like built around the outside of the bridge section. I bet you, and then stage 6 was the superstructure, and I wonder if that's going to be how they're going to be building these sections. So stage 4 was tedious. It was involved with inputting several small windows in place, and I got big fat fingers and tried to use a pair of needle-nose pliers, to put them in place, and it was just really slow and tedious, and probably would have made for not a very good video. So in the next video that's released, we'll be going into that, and I got a lot of really good photos of it, but it would have been a long, kind of just tedious video with me not doing a whole lot of talking, because I'm trying to figure out how to talk and build and do all these things at the same time. It was better to photograph these sections, and I might take this approach going forward with either small stages or really tedious stages or parts of stages. I just really just got more impatient than anything else. So coming up is stage 6. In the next episode, we will be doing stages 4 and 5. And then please stay tuned to the end of this episode for a special announcement. Okay, so going in here to packaging and stage 6, and all complaints aside, I really do love how they do the packaging. The quality, the attention to detail, the way that each piece has its own specific part, the way that the packaging itself is set up, it makes you appreciate the amount of money that you're spending every single month. In this stage, there are only 3 pieces and 5 screws. Like I said, a very small section. I do love this little card here at the top. I open it up praying and hoping that there was going to be something inside, but it's a description for what the stage is. Not even a description, it just says stage 6. I am going to be keeping these cards. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I'm a nerd, and so I'm going to keep all the stupid little things. So over here, as we get into the next part, the next photo, so to say, it's going to be the steel construction. This is part of the saucer superstructure, and I have to say that these pieces are steel and pretty heavy. I weighed the completed section when everything was said and done. It was 3.7 ounces, almost a full quarter-pound, which is kind of mind-boggling. If you get the reference. This is going to be a significant model. I'm curious right now to figure out where I'm going to be putting this. I might have to build a special bookshelf or specific shelf for this one. I'm not quite sure. This next photo here is actually of the superstructure itself. My hand is shown for scale. Once again, like I said, kind of a big boy, and not the full hand, but yeah, this is a big piece. It's heavy. It's not die cast. It's actually steel, and I believe it might be powder coated. I don't know. And this is going to be the top-down view, I guess. So if you kind of look at it, it's going to be sloping down towards like where the starboard section of where 10 forward is going to be, and as you can see here in the instructions, I do love how they show where everything is located on the instructions. Like with the specific part that you're building, you see exactly where in the model it's going to be. In the next part here, we have the parts. Like the other parts in this stage, these are heavy. They look like they're the support pieces that sit between either the hull or connect the upper and lower sections of the superstructure. I'm not quite sure, but they are heavy pieces. These also have much bigger screws than in previous sections, and they are the machine screws, so they have the M rating on them. You had to kind of like screw them in, back them up a little bit, and then screw them back in again, and because they're self-threading. I found that to be very interesting. As you can see here, one is larger and built to the slope of the saucer section, so meaning that you can see that there's a kind of a downward angle towards where all of the hull panels are going to screw in. As the beginning of this process, I was like, why are there 131 stages? How are they going to get so much money out of me? And I'm starting to get it. I imagine that there are also going to be steel pieces, steel beams that fit in between here. And they said that it is super rigid, super strong. I am just amazed once again at just the weight and the heft of this piece, and I'm really starting to get why there's going to be 131 stages. Once again, as I was saying, you have two main parts that are lit up, so in stage 4 it's some hull plating sections that have the life pods or the escape pods and individually chosen lighting sections, and I can't wait to show you that video next. But and then you're going to have kind of like a support piece, and then you're going to have a superstructure piece, and this is going to be crazy. I'm definitely starting to get why this model is so expensive, and why it's going to take 131 different stages in 32 months. It's insane. Here in this photo, we're assembling the superstructure parts. It's a very easy, straightforward section. Even I can't screw this one up, as we saw with the battery pack earlier in this episode. Yeah, I got really confused. I got really confused. It was full 10 minutes of me going, why isn't this working? The first piece clicked right into place. It was so satisfying. And the same for the second one, as you can see here. Simple, done. That's the stage. And like I said, I bet you anything that there's going to be a piece of superstructure that's built as we go along. And here we go. Completed stages 3 and 6. The lighting, the the lighting on the deflector dish is probably going to be built in several sections over several layers. These lights are very bright. And I imagine that when everything's done, it's going to look amazing. The battery pack was janky, or I was janky. I definitely had to reread through that section a few times before I got it. As noted in the previous video, the quality is completely on point, worth every penny, and it's as I've already built all 4 stages, I'm really super excited and can't wait. Only got to wait 3 more weeks. It's no big deal. And with that said, I'm really looking forward to bringing you this next video. It will be stages 4 and 5 in the next video. Just like this one, it's going to be part video, part still frame with voiceover over the top. And before we go, however, I do have a special announcement. All right, so for the special announcement, I got lucky. I'm used to Amazon. We're all used to Amazon. And so when something ships and it takes forever, you gotta say, I click on the website constantly. And as stages 1 and 2 for the Enterprise D were shipping, I was obsessively clicking. And as I was clicking one day and checking the shipment to see when it was going to arrive, the Fanhome sent me an email. And with it came a special offer. And it was a special offer that you had to act quickly on because it was a limited time offer. And being that I'm a sucker for financial punishment, I acted. My nerds, it's time to add a new ship of the line to the collection. She's been said to run the Kessel Run in under 12 parsecs, and once was referred to as trash. The Millennium Falcon. Our build series has a new ship of the line with the premiere episode dropping next Monday. Stages 1 and 2 ship on Tuesday. I cannot wait to see you here for it. Please like, subscribe, comment, and follow us on social. Links are down below in the descriptions. Until then we meet, the Force will be with you always.